these cute little voices that were like, yay, let's go. Or like,
One, two, three.
welcome to Sparkling Harmonies. We're your hosts, Lili.
And François.
And we are two friends who don't quite listen to the same music or genres.
But we are here to talk about everything and anything music related. Yay!
So today so I actually had a lot of new music come out last week, a lot. So I pitched this idea to François where we could just do a recommendations episode. So this is just purely
it was
recommendation.
A last minute subject.
Last minute subject change, yeah. So yeah. So you want to start, or do you want me to start? It's up.
Ladies first. I will be a gentleman on that one.
Okay, so last week, I'm just going to name them all, and then we're going to go through them one, and then I'll let you, and then, otherwise it's just going to be me talking for like ever. So Day 6's subunit, Even of Day, released an album. The Main released an album. BTS released a song. With Confidence released a song. And then this week, 2 days ago, Our Last Night released a cover. So that's what I'm going to be talking about today in like kind of order of release. So first things first, Even of Day is a subunit of 3 of the guys from Day 6. They did this last year because 2 of the guys were on hiatus and they wanted to continue to release music. And this year, one of the guys is still kind of on break. The other one's in the military. So they've continued to do this. They've continued with this subunit. It's very common in K-pop to do this. Their sound is usually different from Day 6 because last year it was, if I'm not mistaken, there was the drummer, the keyboardist, and the bassist. This year it's the same people, but the bassist decided to switch up his bass for an electric guitar.
Okay.
So it's a little bit different, but it sounds quite different from last year too. So to really get you to understand, I'm going to explain a little bit the concept of last year's album first. Last year, the album was it really had a concept. So it was these denimals, which are their kind of the characters of themselves.
Okay.
It's cute, like they have plushies and everything. There's a whole video clip where it's just like the Denimals characters, and so they were part of the album. So there was the main songs of the album, and then there were these in between songs where it was like fun, a little bit more not upbeat because the songs were also upbeat, but it was just a little bit different. And there were these cute little voices that were like, yay, let's go. Or like, let's go back to the spaceship now. So, because the whole concept of last year's album was going on like an adventure.
Okay.
So this year it's a regular album. So it's completely different from that. There's no like denimals or like animation concept anymore. It's really an album. It sounds a little bit more rock than it was last year. Last year was more, I feel like it was more synth heavy. But maybe it's just because there was no electric guitar last year.
Okay.
So the sound was a little bit different. But very typical of Day 6. Their lyrics are a lot about heartbreak.
You should do a collaboration with Taylor Swift.
Maybe, yeah, they should. But because the Day 6 are known for their heartbreak songs, and I think that it fits with the voices. Also, like, I don't want to say it's whiny, but one of the guys, especially, he has a voice that, for lack of better word, I'd say whiny, but in the best possible way.
Okay, I get it.
Where it's like you feel that he's hurting, and
so it's pretty emo.
I mean, no, because the sound isn't emo. The lyrics, maybe. The lyrics, yeah. But I mean, you don't go calling around and every heartbreak pop song emo either.
No, but sometimes you're close, like you're borrowing some tropes or
Mm,
like
yeah,
like
but
you don't know me part of it, I guess.
well, they definitely do have that. But they also have these like more hopeful songs. I'm just gonna go through my notes a little bit, and they also go talk about anxiety a little bit. There's this one song where it's it's kind of like about when things are dark. There's always better times. So I feel like it's very like a lot of what I'm going to be talking about today kind of feels like it's inspired by the pandemic also
Yeah,
because I
it had a
mean,
big impact on people, so I
yeah.
guess.
So because like the song is like, don't lose hope kind of thing, among all the heartbreak songs. And the album finishes with a song that's like more of part your past being sad about your breakup, and it's more like good riddance. And I think
Okay.
one of the lyrics is I'm so happy without you.
Oh, but
So
there's a positive side of that, like
yeah. So I
breakup
really
song.
enjoyed the album. Their title track is called "Right Through Me," and the album is called "Right Through Me" as well. I don't think I've mentioned it. The
Okay.
album it's Even of Days album called "Right Through Me," and their title track is really good.
Oh, so
Yeah,
it's up to a good start. You start with the emo stuff. So
I
I
mean
guess,
it's gonna stay that way.
damn, it's supposed to be summer, Lily. It's supposed to be
I mean,
happy and
don't worry. There's BTS's song for that.
yay.
So what about you? What's your first or what were you gonna say? I'm sorry.
On my side, I did a little bit different because it's a couple of albums. I have an album from a, a one man band called Cree or Letter.
Okay.
Uh, uh, the new album by the Deluxe. And I watch I think it like maybe 10 years old documentary about L7. It was a grunge band.
Okay.
Uh, I will talk a bit more about the band during that part, but the new album by At the Gate. If your boyfriend is listening to us right now, you will probably know them because I know he's a fan of In Flames, and it's the same like scene and time period in general.
Okay.
And the last one is a discovery I made via the Spotify suggestion. When you listen to a whole album, for the people who still listen to whole album, when the
I
album
do.
is over, Spotify will push uh, either an artist that is close to that
Mm-hmm.
to what you're listening to, or another album or other song from that artist. And I discovered a band I didn't know exists. And when I dig up, I discovered that was supposed to be a secret project.
Okay.
So it's my clickbait announce. I will start with Cree. Um, First of all, the look is a big part of the persona.
Mm-hmm.
He's a singer for other like hardcore band from France. I don't really know him, but as soon as I saw the cover of the album, I just clicked play. Like, what kind of music it is?
Okay.
The
What's the
guy,
cover?
he have the I would say the cliche whole punk look. Like you have black jeans, whatever t-shirt and a leather jacket in black, but
Mm-hmm.
you have pink gloves in leather, and you have a I don't know how to call that, but the BDSM mask, like all leather with a zipper.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know
But
how that called, but I mean, I know what you're talking about when you
yeah,
say it like
this
that.
thing, if someone knows, no judgment. I don't know the name of that mask. I tried to find it on really fast on Google, and I wasn't sure I was ready to click on the link on my
Right.
working
Right. That's
computer.
fair. That's fair.
But it's really a fun album. I think it's less than 30 minutes long, and it's
Okay. That's
all
short.
I will say, I think they call that oi punk. It's like the reaction after the punk genre become intellectual during the 80s, 90s.
Mm-hmm.
That was like university people with philosophy and weird synthesizer and stuff like that. Like the oi punk is like a response to that. Like we're poor and we have something to fight for, and we're taking back the genres. So it's more
Okay.
in that kind of vein. So it's really like straight to the point. The song are like maybe a minute half
Oh
long,
wow,
and
that's
I'm not
really
sure
short.
there's longer song than that. Um, there, in that kind of song, I'm ready to see the show because I know every people will sing along or shout along with him because it's really punchy. It's fast. It's I feel like jumping around when
When you hear
listening to
it.
it. Yeah, so it's pretty funny. Um, the lyrics are great in the genres, but nothing strikes me on that way.
Mm-hmm.
But I got into the music, like I clicked play and I was like, oh, that's for me. So, and it's funny because the guy is playing everything like drums, bass, guitar, and synthesizer.
Wow.
And he mixed the synth like in the, I don't know, but it's like item, but it's it's not like a guitar album. It's not a synth album. It just did a really good mix, so you don't feel
Okay.
like two genres mixing together. It's like it it's
Right.
still old punk, even if there's this synth in the background,
And
and
is the synth always present? Is it in every song?
almost in every song. And the like we said earlier with your proposition. It's a project that was born before the pandemic, but during the pandemic, he went like
It
all crazy.
exploded.
I
Right.
don't know how many albums because he released like cassette and LPs and stuff like that. So he just exploded. And I was sure like that was like not not because I discovered it, but I wasn't sure if people knew about it. And after talking to people, every people were like, yeah, the guy in pink, and everyone like were on it
Wow.
because I think it just came in at the right time. So,
Mm-hmm.
like I said, I'm ready. It's another band I discovered during the pandemic that I'm ready to see live. So, pretty excited to this one.
Oh, that's cool. It's always it's fun to add lists. I mean, add to your list of bands that you want to see. I skip when it's BTS because that gets stressful.
Yeah, I made joke with my wife about going to Korea and see for us it's Blackpink,
Blackpink.
and I'm pretty sure the same thing. Like it's impossible to go on a show. So
Apparently, it's so difficult getting tickets. But I'm not going to think about that until the tickets come out. So, my next one is the Main. Their album came out. So it's called XOXO from Love and Anxiety in Real Time. I think I've been talking about this album for like 4 months now.
yeah, you present us a couple of videos we
Yeah.
had, and you participate in one.
Yeah. Well, it was
It's a
the fan
song,
project, a fan
yeah,
project. We did
but
this as
it's a song from
it's
that
one of
album.
yeah, because it was so first the first thing that was interesting for me with this album is it's a very short album. It's 32 minutes and 25 seconds long.
There's something with the time in this, isn't it?
I don't know.
No, but with the videos you showed us,
Is there? I'm not very good at deciphering things.
I,
Let's
I, I'll,
remember. Let's remember our our episode on. Oh my gosh, what was it? The downfalls high.
yeah.
Not my forte. Not my forte. There. Was there?
I, I, I'm not sure. I will take a mental note, but if I'm not mistaken, there's one song, the time, I think the last song you talked to us, that a
Pretender.
more, isn't it with the more
Pretender.
guitar
Yeah.
driven? And I remember there's something like in the, maybe the chorus, he said at 2 minute 32 something, the lyrics are timed and it's happened in the same timeline as the song.
Oh, really? I mean, that's something that they do. That's something that they would do. But to go back to the album I find is really short. There's one song that's actually under 2 minutes long, which is surprising, considering the last time they had a 10-minute song.
Oh, okay, it's quite different.
Yeah. So this is their 8th album,
Okay.
which is crazy because bands nowadays they don't sadly, they don't survive this
Yeah.
long.
After 5 years, you make it big or you go home and that's it.
Yeah, and even bands who make it big, they've had time to die down since. Because like the Maine, they've been going for 14 years.
Pretty
And
surprising.
yeah, and every time it's always good. That's why. But this time,
Yeah. I
they
don't know.
this time they partnered up with Photo Finish Records. So for the past lots of albums. Like I'm too, I can't count right now. It's the evening. My brain can't function that well. But let's not. And I'm not going to ask you to calculate because let's remember the last episode. But they've been releasing their albums on their own record label for the past few years now. And so this time they partnered up with another independent record label, but that has more resources. This is the record label that 303 is on. So I'll show you 303 later. I'm sure you know them. They did a song with Katy Perry.
Okay.
But so this for their song Sticky, which is their first single off this album, they've gotten radio play, a lot of radio play on this, on alternative radio, but still. So that's really cool to see them finally get some recognition there, because I feel like they're getting more recognition than when they were on a major label for that one album. So this is really great.
Especially with the relation they have with their fans.
Yeah.
Because they can bring people to buy the album. They can bring people to go to the shows and buy merch and help them promote and everything. So
so like people, I guess people have been asking for Sticky, and it's playing, and it was, I think, top 5 on iTunes, top 5 on Spotify. So
great.
They're getting out there. I mean, better late than never. And I'm really happy that they're finally getting the recognition that they deserve, because they're so great. But so from Love and Anxiety, the album, there were already 4 songs that were released prior to the release of the album.
Yes, and I wish that that wasn't like the only good song on the album.
They're not.
Yeah.
So it's there are some lighthearted songs, but there are also, which is mostly the one, well, not only, but there's, some of the ones that were released are more of the lighthearted ones, but there are also some very deep messages hidden within the album in the other tracks, I find, talking about anxiety. I mean, it's in the title of the album, so kind of hard not to talk about it. But one of the songs, it's If Your Light Goes Out. One of the lyrics really struck me. It was, so tell me, where do you go when the hope runs out for a while? And I feel like that hit probably a lot of their fans, because probably a lot of their fans go to their music when they feel that way.
Yeah, especially if they are on the like emo anxiety side.
Yeah.
And with the pandemic, I guess.
Exactly. Yeah, and there's messages about having support. There's the track that's called Anxiety in Real Time. It's I feel like a lot of people can relate to that. It kind of describes somebody going through some anxiety, as the title says. It says like, I've never been so cold in the summer before, and I keep thinking, and so I found that really, really nice. And at the end of that track, it kind of crescendos to this cacophonic sound, which I feel like people can associate to some ringing that they can hear when they're very anxious too. Oh. So that was I felt that was a very interesting way of putting it into the song as well.
Yeah, it's not just the lyrics; it's like a whole concept.
Exactly. So this is a really good album from start to finish. It's really short. It's just 32 minutes, 25 seconds. So you can, I really highly recommend it.
And since it's not emo, but like it's pretty emotional, and they are like what, 30 years old now?
Yeah.
So how does it translate since they grow old? Because you don't have the same struggle as a older person than a teen, but they did it like since they're teen. So is there a progression in that kind of insight? And
I feel like there has, yeah. Because before it was more about like their first albums was about girls and stuff like that. And then it just grew. I mean, there are still songs about girls. April
yeah,
7th,
but
John wrote it about his
life.
wife. But I feel like their lyrics have always have become more and more general.
Okay.
Like, yes, they're associated to stories, and yes, they do feel personal, but in the way that a lot of people can relate to.
Okay. They they
Yeah.
they, they broaden their message.
Yeah,
I
I
guess.
think so. I think
Oh.
so. Because, like I said, so tell me, where do you go when you run out of hope? They don't give an answer to that. It's like it's just an open question
It's an open.
that they ask.
Remember me when I was in university and like art history and stuff like that. Art's supposed to ask questions, not giving answers.
True. True. So yeah, it was a really good album. And like I said, I'm really happy that it's getting some recognition.
And I wish you to see them maybe this year, next year.
Probably not this year with the borders.
Yeah.
But in theory, 8123 Fest is still next year, early next year. So we'll see.
Finger crossed for you.
Fingers crossed. Yeah, they did a show for the album last weekend on a rooftop in LA, and they were streaming it on their Pillar platform. So I watched that, and it really made me miss seeing them in concert. Funny fact, actually, 2 years ago today, I was at Sad Summer Fest in Worcester, and 3 years ago today, I was at Warped Tour in. Was it Worcester? No, it wasn't Worcester. It was somewhere else. Somewhere else in the States as well.
Definitely not a fan.
Like the other, except last year. If we strike out last year, the 3 last years I've seen them today, and I have photos with them today. So I'm really sad.
It's concept. It's sad festival. You're sad. Everyone's sad. Listening to sad music.
Yeah. So what's your second one?
The second one still have a visual effect.
Okay.
I send you the little live show they did. It's
that was really interesting.
How can I present you the deluxe? First of all, I think it's a couple, but I'm really not sure. But it's a artistic couple. At least they're always working together. Hannah is a beast. When she's on the stage, you can't look elsewhere. She grabs your attention from beginning to last seconds of the show. She has a really, really great voice.
Mm-hmm.
They had costume. I don't know if they had quelqu'un qui fait de la couture.
Somebody sewing it for them, or somebody making them?
Yeah, maybe, because they always had like those psychedelic, funky outfit from the 60s, 70s.
Yeah. And they changed them a lot throughout that. The little, I feel like, well, no, not a lot.
Not during the show, because that was live. That was like 35 minutes.
I feel like she wasn't wearing the same thing at the beginning and at the.
I don't remember, but maybe it's possible because you can remove like a part.
Right.
How can I say that? It's like a mix of David Bowie and Dolly Parton, like bam, mixed together. It's so extravagant. It's bigger than real. It's so much fun, and they sound like garage rock. They have like a little disco side sometimes, psychedelic from the 60s.
Mm-hmm.
I saw them a couple of times live, and in that kind of band, you never know what's gonna happen because what costume they will put on, what kind of setup they will have, what kind of crazy stuff they will put people to do during the show. That kind of show, like you're all sweaty after a show because you're into it and they force you to get into it.
Right.
So if you don't like to get involved in a show, don't go in the front row at the Deluxe because they will bring you in the show. And I read a little bit about them because I always saw them in small place, small festival and stuff. Because I think it's the kind of small stage is where you can have like a good connection and
right,
like
right. It's more
bigger,
intimate.
a
Yeah.
bigger presence. I don't know. It's like something, but they really like pushed the boundaries and they did a tour in South America, even if they're not speaking. I don't quote me, but I don't know if they speak Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
And they just like said we have to go somewhere else. So now they are bigger than just Quebec, even if they sing in English and French. Like
Mm-hmm.
they're touring a lot. And since they're only two and play like guitar, bass, drums, synths, they sing and they do everything with only two people.
Mm-hmm.
If maybe I will share the little show they did for the new album. It the guy is playing the drum and the guitar. She's singing, playing bass. Sometimes she switched to a tenor guitar
Mm-hmm.
to another guitar. So it's like a circus, but in the '60s setup. That,
Yeah, those really interesting. And do you, the link that you showed me that you sent me, they were it was filmed in black and white, or well, it was not maybe not filmed in black and white, but it was posted in black and white,
yes,
and like
and in a
the
square.
ratio, yeah. So that I found really interesting as well because they really wanted to put really all the most emphasis on that time as possible.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, it was filmed in a church.
Oh,
So and it's a one take show. They
okay,
record
wow,
a
yeah,
one take show. So
wow.
the kind of stuff they do, they just like jump without parachute and hope for the best.
Mm-hmm.
And seriously, it's our probably one of the greatest band to see live. Uh, Normally, I talk about metal. It's not metal at all. It's really like easy access, but they are a great musician. And Anna, the singer, she had like a powerful voice. And seriously, just take a look at what they do and
Mm-hmm.
what they play.
No, it's really interesting. It's really
It's a
cool
fun
to
ride.
see. Yeah, yeah. And my next one is BTS.
Did you just
Permission.
discover BTS?
It's their song "Permission to Dance." So this track is it's even though it's getting a lot of like recognition, it's not. I don't think it's an official comeback song like Butter was because they didn't have a whole schedule around it. They didn't have they didn't they're not promoting it as much as Butter.
Okay.
Because this is basically the other single that's on the Butter single CD.
Okay.
Because they just released the physical copy
Okay.
of Butter, and Butter has Butter just instrumental, Permission to Dance, and Permission to Dance instrumental. Yeah, and a photo book and a bunch of other stuff. So Permission to Dance, this song had to grow on me a lot.
Why?
Because it's so heavily auto-tuned.
Oh.
And I don't understand why. Because we know they can sing. And we know what their voice usually sounds like, and this was like it was just too much at first. I had to watch them do a kind of live performance of it for a show before it actually started to grow on me because I was like, okay, this sounds more like normal versus the other one.
Is it used as an effect? Like
No, it's not really. It's just used to like enhance, and mostly on the rap line because BTS there are 7, 4 guys sing most usually, and 3 of them are rappers. In this song, everybody sings. So they put a lot. I feel like they put too much attitude on the rappers when the rappers were singing their parts because they made them sing.
But that's kind of a weird choice because they have like so much production value, and because they are already using autotune, but probably like just a touch here, a touch here in a normal song. But so now why overuse it that way? That's kind of
I don't know, but like after I watched that live version, and then I was like, okay, and now I've listened to it a couple of times, and like it's grown on me. But the first time I listened to it, I was like, and a lot of people
don't have to like it.
No, I know, but I always like to listen to it to see if I'm gonna like it. And I did. I do. And it does have a very nice message. The video is just very happy. It's actually a song that was written by Ed Sheeran.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Two big name together.
Yeah. So it's the song is very happy. It's once again like Butter. It's kind of like just a happy summer song to give hope during the pandemic. A lot of people are complaining about the fact that this isn't what BTS usually releases. Like there's usually a deeper meaning to their songs and stuff like that. And a lot of people are criticizing that this is just another attempt for them to get a Grammy. Which to me is like, it's fine. If that's their goal, they're allowed to have goals. And if this is how they can get to that goal, then let them do this. I feel like they're not going to release super dark music now, considering the world is still in a dark place.
Yeah, a lot.
Like, I feel like probably when the pandemic is really over, then we're going to have like a full BTS album with like all of their feelings that they actually felt during the pandemic. But until then, we've got these songs that are more hopeful. What was interesting about this song is in their dance, they incorporated sign language.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, to be more like inclusive. And in their video, there's like a white couple, there's Asian kids, there's all these cultures that are in their video clip just to kind of be, united.
Yeah. It's not just to be to surf on the woke culture.
No, I don't think so. It's really to give a message of, like people should be united. And throughout the video, people are wearing their mask, and then at the end, it's like it's over.
Finally.
Yeah. So it's really cute. It has a cute message. But there's a little bit too much attitude. They could have not put all that.
but maybe they will have like a rock version, a dance version, a rap version.
I don't know. Like I said, because this isn't one of their main songs.
It's a B-side.
Yeah. So usually they don't get all that. But at least they're doing some performances, and those are really cool. Actually, yesterday they were on Jimmy Fallon.
Okay.
And they did Butter on a bridge that is not even open yet in Korea.
Oh.
Yeah.
Visual. I'm pretty sure they put like drones with cameras and.
No, well, probably, but it wasn't as like grandiose as some of their other performances. But it was just cool. It's as if somebody. Well, no, it's not. I was gonna say it's as if somebody had recorded on the Pont Champlain before it was open, but Pont Champlain before it was open was not ready. This bridge looks like it's done. It's just not open yet. But yeah, so BTS, Permission to Dance. Go check out the video clip. Video clip is interesting to see. But and maybe you'll like the song. It does sound very poppy, very like boys band. Even more so if possible than their regular stuff, but it's a cute song, and a lot of the things that, like I said, they included sign language and everything. So I find that there's a lot of little meaningful things in there.
Is it the same song with they did the video with the robot?
Robots.
Um, I'm not sure if it's Hyundai by a company that made
Oh no no
robots.
no 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 no. The spot on it or something like that. No no. When they do those songs for those ads, it's just for those ads.
Oh, it's not even song they had on the album.
No.
Oh,
Yeah,
funny.
there's a couple of Hyundai songs.
That's the first I heard about that because normally you try to push like your best song or normally company try to rent the right to
The
use one
song.
of their best songs to
Yeah.
bring people to your project.
Nope. Nope. They just write the song for. They just sing a song for Hyundai, and it's just for Hyundai.
Why not? You're seven in a band. You can find someone have a hook.
Mm. Yeah. So that was my third one.
Perfect. So my third one is first of all, I have to thank François Cal. He's the one who sent me that because uh, let's be clear, I was a grunge kid when I was in high school, even
Mm-hmm.
if grunge was mostly dead like 2 years prior me entering high school. But
Right.
to my defense, I was in a small town, so everything came up late
Late.
because I started high school in 1996 and Kurt Cobain died in 94. I'm not saying grunge
Mm-hmm.
was dead, but that was pretty much the end of this era.
Yeah.
And like to me, L7 back then probably didn't exist because it was like maybe a second tier band. Like they
Mm-hmm.
were known, but not like they weren't part of the big names.
Right.
So by listening to a couple of songs, I discovered that I know pretty much like all the big song they had because they were in movies and TV shows and stuff like that.
Oh.
Because they had some recognition, but they never like make it.
Mm-hmm.
And so François sent me a video about an interview with the main singer, I think, Donita Spark, I think. She was talking about a song that François Cal told us during the recording because Prodigy did a cover of a L7
Oh.
song,
Okay. Wow.
but a part of the L7 song is a total ripoff of another song. So I was like, I never heard about that song other than the Prodigy one. I would
Mm-hmm.
try just like I will listen to the whole interview, and the whole interview is a part of the documentary. The documentary is like about a band that never make it. It's kind of sad in a way, but
Mm-hmm.
there's no bitter feeling at the end.
Okay.
You just like we did it. We try. We did what most band never did, and
Mm-hmm.
like we still like enjoy and love what we did. But it's really interesting to see. First of all, I know they hate that part, but they were an all female band in the
Okay.
90s. And that's kind of sad because it's still the same question we ask to girl in rock and punk and like how it is to be a girl in a
Mm-hmm.
band. I'm not a girl in the band. I'm in the band. That was the whole
Yeah.
point. So it's kind of sad that they didn't like evolve.
Mm-hmm.
And like I think the first sentence of the documentary is one of the girl that said like I got abused by producer, I got abused by fan, and
Mm,
it's kind of cringy and sad.
yeah.
But after you see what they did as a band, like they did almost everything by themselves. They
Mm-hmm.
weren't part of the big Seattle scene. They are from California, so they were like outsiders, but they were friends with all the big names. Um, they they tour like all around the world so many times, even if they probably never make money out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And like it's just like fascinating because we always see like big bands like rock stars with big
Right.
monies and girls, alcohol, drugs, whatever, hotels. But that
Mm-hmm.
wasn't that. They were literally sleeping on people's floor for
Yeah.
until their 40s. That
Wow.
because they stopped at like 40s or around, and you see everything, all the problem they had, all the good call they had, and they were like they were trying like to slap people in the face because that was a part of their like
Persona
yeah, but
or
they weren't political as a uh, during in their art, but they were as person. So that was
okay.
like a clash. For example, one thing that many people remember, it's during a show, the singer remove her tampon and throw it in the crowd, like eat that
Ew.
fuckers. Yeah, but that's the side you don't want to see, but that exists, that's happened. Like
Yeah.
you can. I'm not a woman, but you can be on your period during a show, even if
Yeah.
you don't want to stop people, go in the backstage, change your tampon, and come back. That things like that happen. But
Yeah.
yeah, okay. She made a performance out of it, and that was probably a part of her, like just want to provoke people. But
Yeah.
like she made a point out of it, and she never apologized for it.
Mm-hmm.
Even now, she's like, I don't know, 60, and she's like, no, I mean it, and I will still make it if I have to. Why not?
Wow.
But it's just and all during all the documentary, you see flash of other girls in the music industry that talk about that band, and they influence so many other band. Like
Mm-hmm.
I I can be in a rock band as a girl, even if I don't want to be a girl in a rock band. So
Mm-hmm.
that was like the singer of a Garbage. Uh, Even Joan Jett recognized that even if she's older, but that band like opened doors to like something
Wow.
different, and that was really interesting. And seriously, if you're at my age, you probably heard all those songs at least once. So I discovered a band by the time, and so sometimes older stuff is interesting too.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's true. What's it? When you mentioned the kind of double standard of in the industry, it kind of reminded me of Scarlett Johansson when she gets interviewed with like other Avengers cast, and she always gets asked the questions of like, oh, how was the wearing your costume or stuff like that. And she I think there's like a lot of videos where she's just like throws them down, and she's like she actually literally, I think one of the interviews she literally says, why are you asking me this? Would this be a question that you'd ask him? So I mean, that's the reality even now, and it is sad that it hasn't changed.
And for something, I know it's a kind of a rude or a crude way to say it, but you don't need your sex to play music.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's no part that involve
No,
your sex. So
no, no. I know. I don't know. Maybe one day. Maybe one
maybe
day it'll change. So now on to my fourth one. My fourth one is With Confidence. They released a song called Anything last week. And at the same time, they also announced that they're releasing an album in
oh
August. Yeah, so I'm really excited about that. It should be interesting because the singer, Jaden, is in LA, if I'm not mistaken, right now, but his bandmates are in Australia.
hmm.
So I guess they're doing this all like distance. I don't know.
With the time difference,
I
it's
don't
kind of
know.
hard.
I don't know. I know Jaden made his own studio. He posted that on Instagram when he was making it. So maybe he's doing most of the work for the album. But anything is kind of last week's episode was about, was it last week? I forgot. 2 weeks ago, I mean, it was lyrics versus melody, right? Or
Two
was
two
it
episodes
4 weeks?
ago, yeah.
Or was it 2 more? I guess I'm so confused with time.
The last episode was Summer Song.
Oh yeah, that's true. But this is one of the examples where the lyrics I don't really relate to it. But the melody's good. I like Jaden's voice. So I just like the song overall, because the song, it's something like I just want to feel anything. And it kind of revolves around feeling nothing. Which is interesting because, once again, pandemic probably resonates with a lot of people.
A lot.
If people is not being able to see anybody, so kind of feeling lonely, feeling empty. So but I don't. So, but I still like the song.
Oh. So music before lyrics.
Yep. And what's your next one?
So my next one is At the Gate. They had a new album that went out like 2 weeks ago, I think. It's called The Nightmare of Being. We continue the good vibe. And At the Gate, as I said in the intro, it's probably like the godfather of mellow death metal. They are the foundation of that genre. They influenced so many bands with an album that probably became cult and created genre. And since then, every time they have an album out, there's always someone pointing back at this album and like, oh, it's not Slugger of the Soul. So I think they quit in after like 8 years, and they came back a couple of years ago, probably because they were like sick and tired of hearing that. Every time you put out an album, people criticize it because it's not the same album you had like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And so this one is a little bit different. There's a change in the lineup. I think it's one of the guitarists that left. So there's a new guy. And we can hear his new like
what he brings to the table.
And,
yeah.
And they tried to do, and let me quote that, to do an album that is dark but not negative.
Okay.
So everything is based around the pessimist philosophy,
right?
Where it's a belief that that this world is as bad as it could be, or that evil will ultimately prevail over good. I'm quoting that. And so everything revolved around that concept. And they had like I think it's a university teacher helped them write a couple of part of the song and stuff like that. And so they tried something new. And they also try many other new stuff, like their saxophone, there's keys, their instrumental songs. The first review, if you may, I heard or read where that it like weird. It's different. It's not what we expect. They're still pointing at the old album, but to me, it's really a good thing because the guy are like 40 something, maybe 50. I don't expect they're doing like the same album again and again and again.
Yeah. And even if you're not that far, like even I never really like, I mean, I find it funny people who are always saying, oh, this is different, or, because don't you want your band to get better, to evolve, to
attract new people,
discover stuff? So, yeah.
So they try like really something different. At first listen, it was a bit confusing because it's changed like every song. But as a whole, it's really cool because like I want to listen more and like discover a little part I miss or stuff. There's a lot to dig, to
Mm-hmm.
uncover
Uncover.
uncover in the album. So it's really cool, and I think it's like a because they were the base of a genres that was like really big, like almost 30 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think it's like a modern way to do the same genres, but in a modern world. So it's a different production. It's a different like melody or like way to craft the same kind of vibe, but in a
Mm-hmm.
modern way. And I think it's really interesting. And I'm curious to see what's going to be next. So that was a really nice change. And seriously, it's a really great album. And again, it's a really short album based on the
Again.
genre. Based on the genre. So if your boyfriend is listening, I think you should have a listen to this. And that's it.
Okay. Now, my last one. So actually, this was a last minute last one, because our last night just released a cover of Olivia Rodrigo's "Good for You" 2 days ago. So they did their kind of heavy take on the song, which is really good. I haven't listened to it a lot yet, so I don't have that much to say, other than it's a really cool cover. So if you like Our Last Night and you haven't heard that song yet, go check it out. I mean, it does sound like Our Last Night. If you like the song "Good for You," maybe this is going to be your gateway into Our Last Night, because I find that it's a really cool cover that they did,
and it's kind of a step into legitimate Olivia Rodrigo in a more rock world.
What do you mean?
Because there's two clans right now with her. Like she's the next pop punk goes big artist, or she's just a poser.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, maybe.
So you have a band that
covers.
Yeah, covers. So like it's.
But I mean, bands cover anything. Bands can do their version of any song. So
yeah, but in that genre, normally you don't do a cover of a band you hate.
True.
So
True.
Because there's so many stuff. I don't know why. Because before you talk to me about Olivia Rodrigo, I never heard about her. Like maybe what's the song?
Driver's license. Yeah, I had heard that song, and that's the only song I had heard before too.
But after that, I saw so many stuff around her, but nothing about her music. Everything about criticizing the fact that she's more grungy, punk, rock, and stuff like that. But since I think she's a Disney artist.
I don't know.
Or something like that. What the High School Musical show?
High School Musical?
No, Glee.
Glee. Oh, okay, yeah.
I think she was in something like that. So, so all the gatekeeper, I guess, trashing her because she's not a real musician. She's not like one of them, and she had a beef with Courtney Love.
Really?
Because she had a picture. I don't. It's funny because to me, band like her or Machine Gun Kelly that brings the genres that I like
out into the world.
Yeah, no, but it's a cool thing because yeah, maybe you don't like the popular side of pop punk, for example, but they will probably influence kids or other bands or other artists to do their version of pop punk.
Yeah.
So I think it's just a cool thing. It's healthy. It's refreshing.
I don't know why there's this shame in music becoming mainstream or becoming popular. I don't know. And maybe we could do another episode on this because this is something that I do not understand. Like, why do you want to keep your genre like hidden from the like. Why
It's
don't you
gonna
want more people
die.
to listen to it?
It's gonna
Exactly.
die. You need new
Yeah.
blood.
Yeah.
So, but maybe a cover with another band will bring people to her. Maybe she will try. What's their name? Poppy. She was a she's a pop artist, I guess, but her last album was really a mix of like extreme metal and pop, and so she played on both. And now
Hmm.
her new album is really rock, like, so maybe that there's no barrier
Boundaries
anymore.
anymore.
Yeah,
I mean, I
between.
feel like I said, I've always listened to whatever, any type of music. So like if if my favorite band would release some rock music and then some very pop music and like whatever, like I don't mind. Like they're allowed to release music that's not defined by the genre that most people put them into.
Yeah,
Because your rapper might like punk rock. Why can't your rapper release a rap album and a punk rock album?
and having a blast doing the shows with
Exactly.
both genres together.
Exactly. Like I feel like people are so restrained by genres and it
Maybe
shouldn't be.
maybe it's like you don't want to share like the link you have with something. It's like it's yours. It's your memories. It's your experience. It's precious. I don't know,
I don't know. I don't know.
but
But we'll see. We'll see. In the meantime, go check out our last night's cover of Good For You.
I will. I will. So my last one is a discovery I made via Spotify suggestion.
Again.
Again. I seriously, it's something I really like about like the modern way streaming and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like sometimes it's weird because one thing I find really weird with Spotify, it suggests me album I already have in my liked list.
Yeah.
So why are you?
Well, because
suggesting
it's like you haven't listened to it in a while. Go listen to it.
maybe, but when you listen to a whole album and they make suggestion like that, I really like that because especially now that we can go back and see what we listened.
Yeah.
So I played the what's the name? It's Prisoner, I think, of the last album of Phoebe Bridgers,
Mm-hmm.
and I listened to it a lot, like a lot. It was in my top of the years in
Mm-hmm.
2020, and after I listened of the album, there was a song, and I was like, "Oh, I like that. I like the voice. I like the melody. I like that." So I push play. The band is called Better Oblivion Community Center. So it's pretty like
It's a long name.
a long name, but that doesn't resonate anything. Like
Mm-hmm.
what is that? Look like a community center. Like you're going in a new town and there's a little sign. There's the Oblivion Community Center. Oh, okay, but I was fascinated because I was feeling like uh, something I already knew, but I didn't knew the band,
Mm-hmm.
and I listened to the whole album, and I was pretty good. I really like that, and I really like the there's a good alchemy
Chemistry.
chemistry, sorry, between because there are two singers, one girl, one guy,
Mm-hmm.
and that's funny, and it's not cheesy.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like I don't know how many country band that have like no, but that was really popular during a time like what's his name, uh, the whole country guy with he sang in a prison, he did the fingers, and Johnny Cash
Mm.
with June Summer. They had each their own stuff, and when they mix together, like there's a duo. There's the movie with Lady Gaga, I
Mm-hmm.
think. So that kind of that wasn't like that. That was like I don't know a new thing to me. I at least because I'm not a really big country fan,
Right.
and after a while, I searched a bit about the band, and it's a band that was a secret project between Phoebe Bridgers and a guy called Connor Oberst. And I never heard that name before. But
Me
when I
neither.
saw the video, I was like, hey, that's Bright Eyes. That's a band I really like. I really like that guy. I didn't know his real name, but so two band I like, two artists I like joined together to do something.
That sounds
And
completely different.
yes, and still you can still hear them in
Mm-hmm.
the mix. And I really like that when a band is just it's not just uh, an album or a groove song. There's a story behind. I
Mm-hmm.
really like stories. I like backstories, and this one is really interesting. Just so you know, Connor Obese is almost my age. I think he's 38 or 39, and Phoebe Bridgers is like 25. So
Okay.
just put a context.
Right.
She's enjoying writing music with other people. She never worked alone. She's always
Okay.
had like party writing stuff. She have a couple of collaborators on each album. She was writing music with another friend. They were jamming, having fun, and there this guy came in the studio, tripping on mushrooms, and he was repeating the word Chesapeake. Sorry, Chesapake.
Jesus, pagan. Oh, wait, Chesapeake,
Chesapeake, that word.
I think.
Thank you. and and they were like, "Oh, okay, you high," and he start writing song. And Chesapeake is one of the first song they write together. So after the buzz, it continue writing together just for fun. And
Mm-hmm.
Connor Oberst is known to have like a fantasy about uh, never seen before band. Like he create fantasy band, like people
Okay.
create fantasy football league and stuff like that.
Right.
Like you write song, you record song, but you never put them out, or you never the intention to do something with that.
Right. So how did
So
this come out?
yeah, and so at the beginning, they were sure that was kind of that thing, just for fun. And Phoebe Bridgers said she really enjoyed working with him because she's a slow perfectionist,
Mm-hmm.
and Oberst is like he just like throw stuff and go with it.
Okay.
So they had like a really like different way of working. They tried to make that together,
Right.
and they had like 5 songs, and they said, "Oh, I think we have something." And after a while, Connor Oberst told her he never heard about her before. He saw her for the first time like a couple of weeks before they first met on a show because they were on
Okay.
the same stage, and he was like, oh, "Okay, there's a new girl singing. I never heard about her before."
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, "You're my hero. Like I did everything I can to like meet you, and I'm so amazed that now I work with you." It's like, "Oh, okay, sorry, I didn't know you before." But so it's just like a funny, like impossible between
Yeah.
meeting between two people.
Yeah.
Uh, so if you like folk, synthy, lo-fi music, we're really bad with genres
Well, yeah,
maybe.
we are.
But they present themselves as a mix of everything, like
Okay.
synth driven electropop to roots rock to plaintive folk, with no traditional folksy duet. So in short, they do whatever they
Everything.
want.
Yeah. Just
So that was supposed to be a secret project. They had like a campaign of had like the scientists, no, Scientologists do, like only a message on a big board, but no information, nothing,
oh
just
my gosh.
Better Oblivion Community Center. Okay, but what's that? Nothing. And they create a website. The only thing you can see is give us your name and you will have a funny program. So you put your name and your email and you hope you don't get spam, I guess. And they record the song. And after that, someone asks, so do we put that out? Like, do we do an album? Do we have shows or something? And she said, Phoebe Bridges at the beginning said, I'm not sure. I just had an album out like 2 weeks ago,
Mm-hmm.
and after reflections, like, why not? Why not take like everything that goes? Like, this is a project. I enjoy it, so let's do this. So
Yeah.
now they're banned, I guess.
That's really funny. Like, what a coincidence.
And what a coincidence! Like, he was so high that kid. There's a possibility that nothing works because he was too high.
Mm, that's true. That's
It's
true.
a what how Bob Ross called that, an happy accident, little happy
Yeah,
accident.
happy accidents.
Let's
No,
do a bush here.
no. Wow. So you went all over the place with
Yeah,
your.
I just I don't know. Maybe the pandemic effect on me. I try, and I think the podcast helped me a lot to do that. I try to discover new stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
at least a bit.
Well, for me, it was all my comfort zones, all releasing music at the same time.
That's great too. It's summer. You enjoy it.
Yeah, yeah. So I think that about wraps it up for this week for us. I hope you check out some of our suggestions. If you do, then you can always tell us about it in on our Facebook, our Instagram, or our YouTube. We'd like to know also what you've been listening to, because maybe that'll make us discover some new music as well.
Tell
So
us about your little happy accident.
So this was Sparkling Harmonies. We're your hosts, Lili.
And François.
And you can listen to us next time. Bye.
Bye.